hey John, this is Freddy, and here's your audit. And how I structure these kind of audits is, I have my kind of notepad here where I enter all of the notes or suggestions which I would want you to do. And then we have the ad account here. And basically I start by looking at the campaign level, then at the ad set level, and then at the ads level, because here is usually the part where you can improve upon most. But I would say let's get started with the campaign level. So basically you said, the whole account is a testing, looks like a testing account. And I kind of somewhat have to agree with that. 50K, almost 50K spent in total. And the most spending campaign has only spent 3.1K, which is like less than 10%. Ideally, you want to have one campaign which eats up like 70-60% of your overall budget over time even. So your goal CPA is £20. I don't know where the pound sign is on my keyboard, so just put in dollars. And after looking at this at first glance, I see some 13 CPAs, 22, 18. I see even like a 21 here, and then you obviously mentioned this Black Friday campaign, which has the highest ROAS and lowest CPA. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go and select all of these and like kind of gonna neglect each one of these because you obviously did something wrong here. I can maybe include this one here, and I just want to go over what you did right and what you can maybe improve upon then, right? So basically, if you just filter by these, you get a decent average ROAS. At a decent spend and a decent CPA. It's $16 in total. Obviously the Black Friday one was a special sales campaign, so that's what I'm gonna start walking through. This one seems to be top of this funnel, and this one as well. This one seems to be middle of funnel, so I'm gonna go over that later real quick. But I'm gonna start with these top of the funnel campaigns, and just gonna go into the ad set level and check what's up here. And at first glance, way too many ad sets to get any sort of stability. Also, you're running ABO instead of CBO. And what I would recommend in your instance is, if you plan on relaunching the ads, what I want you to do is basically, I'm going to go over testing later. And it's probably best for you to just launch like one testing campaign because you don't really have any scaling ads, at least none that I know of, but I'll go over that later. But for now, what I would want you to do if you have like a scaling campaign, that you want to scale up, is use CBO, one ad set, broad, which broad, just like no targeting, open gender, open age ranges, like all of that. Ad set broad, and then three to five ads in there if you don't have Advantage Plus within that one ad set. So you have like one CBO scaling campaign, one ad set, 3 to 5 ads. Keep it super simple. There's no need to test like, especially at your stage. I even do it with accounts spending like 2, 3, 4, 5K a day. I just spend it on broad. There's no need to test localized, in my opinion. There's no need to test like, stacked 1%, something like that. The best audience, which gives it the most stability, will be broad. So definitely highly would recommend that you do test broad. And I think you did it on the other scaling campaign that you had. Yeah, you had broad right here. Again, switch this to CBO. Maybe give it like £100 in ad spend versus like 21 on like each one of these. $100 per day CBO. And then let's look into this broad one. Let's check if it's really broad. Optimize for purchase. That's obviously good. Again, I will use CBO budget. No exclusions, which I like because I think at your spending level there's no need to get the exclusions, because if even if Facebook gets like an existing customer, because Facebook does retargeting automatically, even if Facebook gives you like an existing customer and kind of upsells them, that's still good for your CPA. And I think when you can play around with like new customer CPA and stuff, that kind of stuff, I think comes a little bit further in the journey. I think you're all about getting those CPAs in first. Again, I like this 1865 plus United Kingdom. I like that you have all genders. I like that you have I usually turn this off, but I think this is broad anyways, so you could probably just take this off and never have it on because I never have targeting. But yeah, all languages are like that. Advantage Plus placements, that's correct as well. That's how I usually structure the things. And then I think 7-day click one view is fine for you because you don't have that much of a volume, so Facebook can get more data and optimize the ads in a better way. So yeah, that's basically the ad set that I would run. CBO, this ad set, and then just put in your ads in there. So now, obviously, to look at the ads, I'm just gonna go for all of these. And then I'm gonna go for all of these. And then I will take a look at the ads level and sort this also by amount spent. So first thing before I dive any deeper into the ads is to see if I can identify a pattern of like ads that are most spending and also consistently get a good CPA for you. And obviously by looking at this, I get DPA, 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 DPA. So my recommendation, from looking at this, would be, for this broad ad set, use your DPA ad because they seem to work quite well for you. And then this chipboard tags, we have it here and here. Let me check for this one. I have to preview it. So basically, okay, this is an ad for a sale. So I don't know if you're still running that, but I like the approach that you take here. Like protect knees, reduce pain. Rated excellent on Trustpilot, a must-have for CrossFit, and very supportive snug fit. So I like this approach. I think the image itself is a little bit ugly in some ways because of this background. Like it has nothing to do with the actual product. I think it's not really looking that great. But I'll keep that in mind. And then we have this image ad, review ad. Okay, so this was for Black Friday. But I think I've opened that one right here. Yeah, like they're somewhat similar. 25% of everything. Black Friday. Okay, Black Friday sale. So can't really take any learnings out of this for your normal. I would say like top of the funnel ads, but I think you have another like static image here. Just preview this as well. I don't know why it's not showing me the thing. So yeah, this one seems to be working. If I look at the ROAS, versus spend, obviously spend is not that super high, but looking at the ROAS and CPA, that's pretty much in range. $20 CPA, pretty much in range. And these, from glancing at this, the pattern that seems to appeal to me is that ads which have like somewhat of a benefit statement seem to work quite well for you. Again, DPA. So DPA is obviously one of your top spenders. Then you feel okay, this one has a quite high CPA, but this one has a decent CPA. This one also the static. So this one has a decent CPA. So what I would do is test around with static benefit images, right? Maybe, for example, thinking that I had, maybe instead of rated excellent on Trustpilot, you could add a review in here, right? Maybe change the background again to something that fits more to the aesthetic, versus just having a marble background. Maybe choose something that's more related to CrossFit, and maybe you test different benefits in here. For example, on the other one, just put up here. You for example, you have protect knees, reduce pain. Maybe you test out reduce pain, protect your knees. And the way that I would do this is have one consistent background and then change benefits on it. For example, let's say this you just keep this background for the purpose of having keeping the background, and then instead of improve performance, reduce pain, and then instead of rated excellent on Trustpilot, maybe you put a review in here. And then instead of designing for weightlifting and strength sport, maybe you say design for CrossFit. And this way you get you create two to four different versions of that image. Then you put that into a testing campaign. I'll quickly tell you how to do the testing campaign. Testing. CBO, broad, dynamic creative, and then best headline, best ad copy, 3 to 5 creatives. That's how I would structure it. You take your best, put your squat PB in serious danger. Thing is, I would always be careful with using acronyms. I think it's what it's called in English for specific words, because maybe someone is interested in this product but doesn't know what a PB is. Personal best, I would assume it is. I'm not really that much into the sports, but if I can't get it from the first glance, if I'm somebody who wants to buy this product potentially, but I don't, get what your headline is, they look at the image first, then they look at the headline, and I would be careful with using, again, I think it's called acronyms, for within your headline. Maybe this could be your headline again. Headline is doesn't have that much of an impact. Let's see what your headline. Okay, it's save 15%, it's save 25%. Let's see what you have on some of these other like ads, and even they're all DPAs. Let's just check what you have here. It's also save 15%, but basically, have one consistent headline, and maybe I wouldn't do too much of a headline testing, because headline doesn't have the biggest impact on your overall performance. So maybe just take this one, put your squad PB in serious danger. And maybe just change it to, put your squad personal best in serious danger. That's kind of up to you, but I wouldn't start testing headlines right now. It doesn't make sense to me. And then for the ad copy, just use this one. It's probably one of the, good one. Let's see, okay, if you sales one, here you also, have somewhat similar to this one. So maybe instead of, for the headline, or for the ad copy, sorry, just use this one. And then, you just take 3 to 5 creatives, like these ones. You just change the benefits on each one of these, again, like I just told you. And then that would be the first test in the DCT, one ad set brought, and you see if there's any performance coming in, right? That's basically what I would do. Then, looking at the creative pattern, let me do another row, which I call ecom analyze, basically AOV, add to cart to purchase, open click to purchase, landing page to purchase. Actually, before we do that, let me just quickly give you one quick insight. So these, I was looking at them earlier, but these DPA ads, tend to have a way higher frequency than the other ones, even if they're like in a broad ad set, right? And this basically indicates to me that on the DPA ad, Facebook does more retargeting than on the other ones, right? For example, let's see if they are on the same, I don't know what it's like, but let's see. So this one is in fitness, wellness, broad. Let's just go in here, just for the purpose of it. And you have obviously a few different ads in here. And if you just go over here, you can see the frequency on the DPA ad is way higher than on, for example, on the video, on the static, right? This basically shows me that this DPA ad is mainly used for retargeting, which doesn't have to be bad, but just make sure, you have enough other ads to kind of sustain that retargeting, because obviously, it's getting the majority of the spend. And obviously it's depending on the spend that it has a higher frequency. But, I was looking at it earlier, and, the DPA tends to have higher frequency at the same spend. So make sure you have enough other ads in there. So, you only don't have a retargeting ad, because if you have just the DPA and it's giving you good CPAs, it's mostly because it's doing retargeting, and you don't want, Facebook to only do retargeting, because then you're not getting, more top of the funnel traffic, which I think should be the goal with your Facebook ads. And so that would be the first approach I have, I would probably not do that. This may be more for later, simply because I don't think you have a one creative that is giving you like a consistent CPA, right? So again, I would start just by having one testing campaign, which would be in this setup. I would probably, if we have the budget, £100, I don't know where the pound sign is, £100, and 2 ad sets. So I'll run 2 tests simultaneously in a CBO environment, right? CBO tends to have a better efficiency versus ABO. So I would definitely run a dynamic creative. First of all, again, this image test, which I just told you about, and then I would run a separate second test. And ideally speaking, that would be like a somewhat of a video test. Reason for that is, I know you don't have that many video ads running, and I think it's probably harder to get to you as well. But the thing is, each kind of creative appeals to a different audience, right? Some people, I put it to the extreme, it's most likely not like that, but some people only buy from image ads versus some people only buy from video ads, right? And because you're running mostly, like say 90% plus image ads, you're not going to reach that other audience, which only reacts to image ads. to video ads. So if you overall want also to improve your CPA, you need to have multiple different sources of creatives, right? This could be, you have like a benefit image, maybe you have like a review image, maybe you have like a UGC ad, maybe a UGC video, maybe you have like a benefit video, right? Like a whole lot. Ideally, you would have like 4 or 5 different creative concepts that are performing for you. Obviously, that's kind of looking to the future, doing a lot of testing of what concept works, etc. But just giving you a quick insight into that. So I definitely test the videos. And in terms of what videos to test, you said you have a lot of like kind of influencers that you work with. So maybe influencer videos. Is that something that you could do? If that's possible, I would definitely do that. I would write a script for them. Go to my competitors. See what they're running for video ads. If they're not running any influencer ads, obviously I wouldn't be running these. But like, take a look at competitors. What kind of video ads are they running? And then get inspired by that. Don't straight up copy, but like get some serious inspiration for that. Again, we have, CBO testing is what I would run only right now, £100. One ad set, let's call them benefit images, 3 to 5, and one ad set videos, check competitors to see what they are, what they are running. And then also 3 to 5 videos, same headline, same ad copy as in this ad set. That's basically what I would do. And then, let's kind of filter that out because we don't want the ad set ID. I like to take a look at how the ad is kind of converting. Because I think I was seeing, let's just check it. So if I click on shop now, okay, I do get to a collection page. So my thinking is, or my suggestion probably would be to see if, if you lead a person, I don't know how much, like, if there's like one standard pair that people always choose. I'm not too much into the topic. I don't know what 7mm is versus 3mm, but maybe there's like a bestseller, maybe it's like 3mm, right? And then I would link them straight to the product page of the 3mm one, or maybe the one which has the most availability in stock, because I see quite a lot is sold out here. Let's check the 7mm one. Okay, also, yeah, it looks better. Maybe I would send them to your bestseller, right? And to the product page. Because then they have to do one less click. And that usually leads to a high conversion rate. Obviously, I don't know that, but you would have to test that. But typically from seeing that, sending people to a product page is better than sending them straight to a collection page. But then again, let's look at the ads. I don't know why they were not showing up earlier. Oh, I think it's because of the sale. Yep. But basically, again, I would, do the benefit image because that seems to work quite well, and then one set of videos. But now let's look at the ecom analyze thing. Basically, how much am I getting per click? What is my AOV? What is the add to cart to purchase? And I think this is for like a different product. But looking at this, let me see if I have the correct campaigns selected. So I just filtered by the 2 top of the funnel campaigns that you were previously running. And if I'm looking at this, it's not looking too bad, right? You've gotten a decent amount of purchases at a decent CPA. It's just like 73 cents above what you want it to be. You definitely have some, that are in the range of where you want it to be. So, let's kind of analyze these ads a little bit deeper. So basically, AOV from these static ads seems to be quite a while higher than looking at the DPA ones. Obviously, the question is why is that? Maybe this is like people who buy again because this has a lot of retargeting. You can see the earnings per click are way higher on this one, versus on this one. This one is a bit lower, but basically, earnings tend to be higher than looking at the conversion rate, this is all very, very good. You know, landing page to purchase is quite high. Outbound click to purchase, basically people who click on the ad and then go to the website, the purchase conversion rate is quite high. So I would say that's not looking too bad. And I think all you have to do is get some consistency in there, right? You know, launch that testing campaign, 3 to 5 ads of that static image. You know, get some inspiration from competitors, look at their videos that they're running, do them, launch them also, and this, you know, with the same ad copy, same headline, broad ad set, just change, you know, the images and change them to the videos, like you would normally do testing. You know, keep everything broad. You know, don't experiment with ad sets. You know, with interest groups or like lookalikes. Like, just don't care about them. Don't do any retargeting. Like, have ideally 2 campaigns. If you have Advantage Plus, I would highly recommend you do that. You use that. I can't see if you have access, but I would definitely recommend you to do that. But basically, one CBO scaling campaign. You know, if you are, you know, if looking at this, you could also try running a CBO scaling campaign already. You know, just use CBO broad, 1 ad set, 3 to 5 ads. You know, maybe the DPA, maybe it's the static image. You have 2 ads. Maybe you try that out at £50 and see if there's something coming around, while simultaneously running that £100, you know, CBO top of the funnel testing campaign. Again, dynamic creative, super, super important. Best headline, best ad copy, you know, this one, and this one, you know, 3 to 5 creatives again, 2 ad sets, and that should, you know, probably give you way more data. And then I want you to track the results, right? Like, within the DCT, what worked and what didn't work. Because you definitely have a good conversion rate. If people click, you know, you have a product which has a lot of reviews, and you have a product that people want in the CrossFit scene, right? So I think that's everything set. You have decent margins, and now all you need to do is focus on creative testing, add broad, everything broad again, focus on creative testing, and, you know, maybe you test these images and you find out none of these are winner, you know, then you go to the next kind of image. You know, maybe it's just an image of the product, of a person wearing the product. You mentioned you went to photo shoots, and you have a lot of pictures, you know. Separate tests by angle, right? Maybe, you know, for example, you know, benefit image, like person image, you know, person wearing the product image could be like a close-up image. You know, all of these are essentially different angles within a creative, right? Maybe you find out, okay, the benefit images like these ones, you know, they don't work at scale. Maybe it's like a person who's wearing the product. Maybe that's the image, you know, that gets people to convert. Maybe it's a person image with benefits. You know, there's a lot of things that you could try. And again, for inspiration, look at competitors, see what they're running. Because if they're running it, you know, it's highly to convert for them. And again, you may not have that data, etc., but, you know, you could get it to work, especially with images. I think they're quite easy to replicate. Maybe it's like, I have a client who has image ads running and they're really great at performing. And basically it's just like a 3D render of the actual product with like a nice background. And also what I should maybe try like a founder image ad. Basically what this is, you know, you create a separate Facebook page for you based on your name. You know, you upload your profile picture as your face, and then you run ads where you maybe like stand in front of the products, where you hold them up or something and be like, hey, I'm John, the founder of, you know, Merck's. Things, you know, I don't know, basically write some ad copy around the product. You know, I was always struggling with, you know, knee pain while doing CrossFit. You know, I found the perfect solution. I developed my own, you know, knee sleeves. Take a look. If you don't like them, I will refund you your money personally. You know, that type of stuff, especially because you're such a small business, you know, not in the way of you're not doing a ton of revenue, but more in the way, you know, you can convey the personal aspect. You know, that's something that I would try as well. But again, that's more for future tests. You know, create a clear structure for tests that you want to run. You know, get ideas. You know, founder image. Maybe it's you know, a video around a certain angle. Maybe it's a video around, you know, like an educating video around knee pain. Maybe it's like, here's why you always struggle with knee pain when you're squatting, right? And the number one reason for knee pain while squatting is, you know, because the weight is too heavy for your knees, and that's based on human medicine, whatever. Like, And I found here's the solution, you know. Then you introduce the product. Could be a lot of stuff, educating video, you know, why you always struggle with knee pain when you're squatting. Could be a ton of different stuff. Just write all of your ideas down, and then I would rate them like 1 to 10, for example. You know, maybe you have like benefit image. Again, my guess would be that this would convert pretty well. So this would be like my first guess. You know, founder's image. Maybe second guess. You know, close-up image. Third, you know, person image with benefits would be maybe like my fourth guess. And then you kind of rank them, you know, in which order you want them to test, because obviously budget isn't that high and you haven't found an angle that has been really winning. And then just consistently, you know, you test with like $100 per day. You know, if an ad set has maybe gotten $100 in spend and the CPA is below like above 25, you just turn it off. And you consistently do that. You know, let it run till like 3 to 10x target CPA. So I would say at your like 20 pound CPA goal, let ads run till 100, 150 net spend. And then, you know, once the 100 or 150 net spend is over, you take a look, you know, is it below my target CPA? Then you just let it run. There's like no need to create a specific scaling campaign right away. Let it run. And you can increase the budget within your scaling campaign or to also scale. You can definitely do that. And you know, if it's, you know, above 25 CPA, turn it off. If it's in the middle, you could keep it running for a few more days, and then take notes why the certain stuff went well. You know, take a look at the, you know, CPC that you're getting. You know, usually CPC isn't that relevant, but maybe one ad has a super high CPC, so you can see, okay, this concept isn't working. So you take a note. I don't know, maybe this one has like super high CPC. So be like, okay, this concept is not working. So close-up images are not working for me, right? And that's then a learning that you can take. And basically, this way you can eliminate concepts that aren't working. You know, you focus on concepts that are working, and this way you can over time find one concept that's working for you. Again, maybe it's like the founder image, maybe it's the benefit image. I don't know, but that's something that I will play around with for sure. You know, let it run to 100, 150 in ad spend per ad set. And also with the CPO, if one ad set is getting all of the spend, that's not bad. That's basically Facebook telling you, you know, the other is shit. You know, if you would force spend on the other one, you know, it would not get a good CPA. That's why I'm highly a fan of CBO and testing as well. And allocate basically give yourself a max budget that you could kind of waste on Facebook ads per month. You know, maybe it's like $500 per month, right? And then, you know, instead of I just went by £100 straight, but maybe you can spend 500 per month on Facebook ads. Maybe that's the budget that you can kind of lose. If anything, if all things go wrong, and then you're still totally fine. So you just do about 500 divided by 30, that's your daily budget, and that's your testing CBO budget, right? Maybe take this approach. But yeah, just have a CBO testing campaign consistently running, test a lot of stuff, make quick decisions, and but you still have to make sure that it's running to around at least 100 before you make a decision, and then keep track of your creatives, and I think that should definitely give you an edge and definitely should improve your performance over time, 100%.